Hi guys, and we're having a lovely Saturday evening hopefully. So we're going to do some piping. So we've got 160ml pre-mixed resin, which all of it is not going into these 4 moulds. We have some silver glitter, we have some silver pigment paste, we have some silver pinata alcohol inks, we have some black pinata, not pinata, black alcohol inks, and some red alcohol inks. Now we're just going to pop some of this into the moulds. Obviously we're not going to fill it to the top because I want to put a back on these. It's a very, very dear friend of mine, so hoping this is going to go to plan. Done this one once before, but I did it on just one piece. There's my terrible Manchester accent coming out. It's dreadful, isn't it? I was trying to scrape my little sticky off. There we go. So let's give that a little wipe. And we're going to fill these not far from the top. Like I said, I want to put a back on them. So I just need that just to run down and give me a nice coating. Hopefully we'll be on a winner. That's number 1. I think what we'll do, we'll just do 2 tonight, just to see how these come out. And then, if everything's going to go as planned, it's knowing my luck, the way my luck's been going lately, it's been absolutely dreadful. So let's get rid of those 2 and let's just bring these 2 into shot. There we go. So we left ourselves with this much resin left in the pot. I'm just looking to see if that needs a tiny bit more. It does. We want the backs to be the same depth on both of them. Whoops-a-daisy. There we go. Let's just give that a wipe. Oh my daisy, we'll go mad if I've got it on the table. So we'll do 2 tonight. We're just going to put a little drop of this in to mix the glitter. Don't need loads and loads and loads of it. I just want a nice thick, it's only a little bit of glitter, a little bit of resin. I don't want it to start oozing out all over, in honesty. In fact, I think we'll have a little bit more glitter. These are brilliant. These are from the works. They're £1 each, and it's ultra fine glitter, and it has a little screw cap and a little nozzle, so there's no chance of tipping your glitters over and then thinking, oops, there we go, there's loads of it gone in. You just squeeze the bottle, dispense the amount that you need into your resin, and away you go. So let's have a little look at this. So we're going to go to the centre, and I'm hoping I've not made this too thin, because we want to have a nice glittery centre. You can play about with this, it's quite good. So if you think, oh well, that's moved a bit over there, or I wanted it more over here, you can shuffle it around a little bit. Let's add a little bit more to that one. I think we'll add a bit more to both of them. Stop dripping. There we go. Drop some into there. A bit more into this one. Just scoop it up. These are just little lolly sticks. You can buy them virtually anywhere. And just pop it into the middle. Now, because I want it to stay in the middle, I don't want to disturb it too much. I want to have a nice glitter centre. There we go. They're about even. Near as damn it. Let's just pop that on there. Nearly. It's going to move as your resin starts to warm through. Let's just pop that to one side. Now, in here we've got the resin that we're going to pipe. So we've got some metallic pigment paste that was off Charlotte Parkinson. I've been dying to try this. Let's just give it a little stir. You don't need a lot of the pigment paste. This is going to be in silver. Let's give it a little swizzle round. They're really nice. I've used the white pigment paste. I've never used the metallic pigment paste. So I'm really hoping that this is going to go exactly as planned. Now, you only need a tiny bit of pigment paste. You don't need loads. It can make it far too heavy and then it just sinks. And you don't want it to sink, because that's when it starts going all blobby and funny and you think, oh my God, look at that, that's not right. So all I do is, if I think I've got too much on, just get my baby wipe, clean my stick off, like that. Put a little wipe down, rub it again through the kitchen towel, and you're literally gonna dot into it and get the tiniest amount on the end. I'm just gonna mix this in. You can add more if you think it needs more. Do make sure you mix it in thoroughly, because you don't want it to look patchy. Now, I pre-mixed this resin because there was quite a lot that was going into it. I've stirred it for 5 minutes. I've let it stand for 10 minutes. It's just, you see how you can see it's not mixed yet. So you do need to give it quite a good mix in. Now, I don't want this to go really heavy and start sinking on me. We're going to pipe this on. Let's give that a little swizz round. Let's have a look. It's quite nice, that. Now, what we're going to do, we've got some Pinata alcohol ink that we got off Charlotte Parkinson as well, so we're going to add a couple of drops of that. And I'm praying I don't make myself look a fool. So let's add a good shake. I'm just going to add 3 little drops. Don't want to put too much in. Don't want it to look cheap, nasty and tacky. I don't think it will. Everybody sings Charlotte's praises. Let's give that a good mix through, because we're going to pipe this. Now, it's got, I don't know if you can see, you see how it's got a bit of a sheen to it, almost like it's got glitter inside. Now, I've not added any glitter. There's been no glitter near this. All I've done is mixed the pigment paste, because it settles in the bottom, scraped 90% of it off, if not a bit more, back into the pot. I've cleaned my little stirrer. See how it looks quite opaque? We're going to see how that's going to look when we do. Right, we're going to set this to one side for a minute. Cap the back off, we don't want any accidents. Now, like I said, we're going to do this with black pigment paste. Start again, Kath. Black alcohol ink, which is that one. And we're going to use the red alcohol ink. Now, I got these as a box. I think it was 15 to the box. Good variety of colours. It spreads very well, and I've had some absolutely fabulous blooms off this. Sorry about the noise in the background. But I'm actually in my dining room at the moment because my craft room's got a leak. So let's just clean them off, because we don't want any dribbles and drips to befall us. I have noticed with these, once you've cut the tops off, because they come with a seal top, once you cut the tops off, it tends to make them leak a bit when you're shaking them. Now, we're going to use black and red, and I've never done the black and red before, so I'm hoping and praying this is going to come out exactly as I want it. want to come on, it doesn't want to come out today. So you're just going to put 5 little drops. It spreads very, very well, I must say. That was unexpected. So there's the 5 drops of the black. Then we've got the red. And we're just going to do a few little drops of the red. More or less in between the drops we've put in of the black. Like I say, I want to see how this turns out. I'd be quite interested to see how it comes out. You can always add more alcohol inks if you think it's not spreading enough or it's not deep enough. Do be careful not to add too much though. So we're just going to let that spread out a little bit. As you can see, when I've tipped the bottle back up to let the air in, it's spat a little bit. I'm not too bothered, to be fair. I'm not too bothered with that. It's something that's easily remedied. I am going to clean that off because I really don't want it to drip and dribble if I have to add some more. So I think we do need a little bit more, so just 1 little drop like that. Just if you see a gap, it's not an exact science. But I want these colours to spread out a little bit. We are going to move them. If it ever wants to drop, there we go. We are going to move them around. You can add a little bit of extra colour if you desire. It's not a rule of thumb. Let's clean that off a little bit. There we go. So if you decide, oh well, I think that might need a little bit more there. So now we've got the silver mixed. Let's give it another little stir. Make sure you mix these in really, really well, like with any of the pigment pastes. I'm still a bit on the fence over certain things, but personal opinion again. Now, we have piping bag set in a little beaker. We're going to pipe this one. Now, I don't want it to sit too long. I want to be able to see the silver. So we're just going to go right to the bottom, give it another little stir. Like that. Let's get it back to that. Now, if you've seen me do one of these videos before, you'll have seen me use one of these orange sticks. Only because I want to move the colours. So you literally just get the blunt end of the orange stick and you're not going to drag to the bottom. You're just going to go through the surface like that and pull the colours through. Lift up and wipe. You're going to do the same again. These will continue to move, so you're just literally going through the surface, going through the colours, moving it through, bringing it round, lift up and wipe. There we go. It's a bit messy, must admit. We just grab another baby wipes and get a little bit sticky, so let's just get some of that off there. We don't want to be getting stuck to everything. Now you can see it is still moving. If you want to move it a little bit more, literally just go in and just pull it round. Like I say, it's not a science. Everybody has their own technique, their own taste to it. If you think it's not moving out enough, let's give it another little swirl, like that. As soon as we start adding the rest and we leave it to sit, it will start to move on its own. So now we've got the silver mixed up. I could possibly have made too much silver. We're just going to decant this into our piping bag. Let's have a little look. Nothing ever goes to waste in here. We always find a use for it. Got a little bit more in there. But the important factor is mix, 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 mix. Don't whip it, just mix. You want your resin to be as mixed as possible. You don't want to see anything stringy in it. If it's stringy, it's not mixed. Now, we just push this. Just give a little twist, stop it backing up on itself. Now, this is quite warm. This is quite warm. So, because it's not an exact science, I'm right-handed, so we can't do it that way. You just literally nip a little bit off the end and see how it's coming out. Do we like that? Is it thick enough? Yes. Hold it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not streaming out of your piping bag. So this is what we're going to do. We're literally going to pipe from the centre in a spiral all the way around. And if you think I have lost the plot, no, I haven't. It will become clear in a moment or two. You come all the way around just to encapsulate your colour. Like that. You think you need a bit more in between them. Try not to make this too heavy. And up. Same again on this one. Start from the centre. Work your way around. You can make these spirals quite wide. You don't need to have them too close because there's no room for the resin to move. That was a little bit close. You want it just to flow nicely. You don't need to have any force behind it. So you don't want to be thinking, oh, I've got to keep squeezing this and it's not coming out. If that's what's happening, make sure you bring your tail to an end there. We'll rest that on there for a minute. Now, that one's got a few more on it. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'll just swizz this down a bit. Let's just lose it out. Just going to put just another couple of little rows of this in. Just like that. Just round and round. Wherever you feel most comfortable putting it. It's already starting to move. Now, we did the clock. If anyone saw the one I did with the clock. So you get your pointy end and you're literally drawing in to the centre. Out and wipe. Into the centre. Out and wipe. So you do 6, 12, 3, 9. Bring it into the centre. Don't dig through your resin. You don't want to scratch your mould. And then in between each one you've done, do another one. So you just literally come in between them like that. And you find your next one. Straight into the centre and up. Next one. Straight into the centre and up. And we'll do the same on this one. Excuse me. So you just draw into the centre and up, wipe, draw into the centre, up, wipe. Try not to drop it. As I say, it's not an exact science. But after every time you've drawn through your resin, wipe. And then through that one. So your 4 petals go to 8 petals. Like so. And up. Same again, into the centre and up. Now, the last one that I did like this we didn't move them. So I want you to draw from the centre out. I get another baby wipe to clean in this. So instead of coming in, we're going to go from the centre out. You're going to make a point for your flower. Centre out. Centre out. And we do this through every petal you've got. I can actually see that the silver is blooming nicely. Centre out. Centre out. It looks almost like a poinsettia. Centre and out. Centre and out. So you've made 4 petals into 8 petals. Your 8 petals, you're going to pull, literally, just pull them through. I can see that these are absolutely quality from Charlotte Parkinson. Absolutely amazing. I was not doubting Charlotte, I was doubting whether the metallics would do what I wanted it to do, but it is. Now, as you can see, we've made a star. So just so you've not got a void space in the middle, just do a little, you're not moving the glitter, you're just turning it. You see how it's made a spiral? Watch again. So we're not moving the glitter, you're just turning a circle like that. Your glitter hasn't moved, it's not been moved anywhere, but you can see how it's sort of fanning like a pinwheel. So that's that bit done. We do get into a bit of a mess doing this, I must admit. Now, we have 2 choices. You can either use a little brulee torch. They are quite good, but on smaller moulds like this, I think you've probably got a tendency of getting too close to the mould or burning the resin. And because it's not filled, you've not got the depth in the centre, because you want to put a back on this. So we're not going to use the brulee torch today. We're going to use isopropyl alcohol. And this is 99.9%, and it's absolutely brilliant. So we'll give that a little minute. This spray, you don't need much of, but it's amazing for popping the bubbles. Doesn't affect your resin, doesn't affect the inks, does not affect your glitters, even down to the pigment paste. So you literally, little spray like that. You see all the bubbles popping? Just a tiny spray and leave it like that. We don't want the alcohol inks to start separating and moving their own way. Now, we're usually quite good with not having bubbles, and I'm really pleased to say that I haven't got any. They usually hide in the corners of the moulds, and it is a little bit annoying because the more you try to get them out, you get more bubbles. So I'm going to leave you there for now. We're going to put the back on these tomorrow, and then we're going to demold them on Monday. So I will do the follow-up for these, but I thought, what can we do that's a bit different? I thought black and red, not too much black. It tends to be a little bit morbid for some people, but we need a bit of colour and we need a bit of the glam in the centre. So I'll leave you there. You lot have a lovely, lovely Saturday evening. I'll pop this on the page and I'll see you tomorrow when we do the backs. Bye, guys.